So can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let people join. We'll start. So once again, myself, Dr. Mahesh Wavre, Head and Associate Professor of Department of Mathematics, and we haven't met in the last semester. This is the first time we are here as per your class concern. So your integral calculus paper, this is mathematics paper number 4, that you should keep in mind. You have two papers in the first semester, that is algebra 1 and differential calculus. And in the second semester, besides that, you have practical also, practical paper, practical based on MATLAB. And this semester also the practical based on the calculus or algebra. So you are doing this, or whatever you did in the theory class, you are, will be do that in your lab course also. Once you start offline, we'll have to take the practicals regarding that. So total 6 papers of mathematics for your BSc first year class. Say 3 papers in semester 1 and 3 papers in the semester second. But one paper we didn't have due to practical. You have to come physically in the lab, and that course, when offline starts, we'll have both semester practical at the same time. So let us have to discuss about this integral calculus. What do you mean by this calculus? Then we'll have this integral and all. Last semester you studied the differential calculus. Yes, in the last semester you have studied differential calculus. Now we want to study about this calculus of integration. The unit first is covers of your Riemann integration. Although you didn't heard about this Riemann integration, you use your general integration, that is derivative and integrations are inverse process of each other, but due to this Riemann that can be done. Integration is likewise. I will draw the following figure. What he exactly did. Suppose this y equal to some function y equal to f of x, and you are going to integrate it in between some finite range of the interval a comma b. So finding integration f of x with respect to x, the notations come later this a to b. What is mean actually? What it means here? What you are going to do, you are finding the area of this region, and this area is bounded. This you can see bounded, you can measure it, but we cannot measure the unbounded region. Suppose we have graph like this. Some graphs are like this. There is discontinuity in the graph. See, in this region discontinuity is there, in this region, and you want to integrate between these two integrals. So how one should integrate? How one can find the area of this? Area of this. So because of this discontinuity for the some functions, we cannot find the integration of that. So what Riemann full name is George Frederick Bernhard Riemann. He lived between 1826 to 1866. Only 30 years he developed this great theory in mathematics, and that calculus of integration, integral calculus. The name given after him, that it should be referred to be Riemann integral. So Riemann integral is different from your regular integral, but the answer, now what you did in the integration of x with respect to x, whatever limit you have, you know this is a formula like it is x square upon 2. This is formula like x square upon 2, but how this formula comes, that you need to think. So what Riemann did exactly, I will inform you about that. Suppose for this example, I have taken straight line y equal to x, because your function is x, and you want to integrate it between interval a to b, some a number finite a to b. So you are just finding the area of this rectangle. So what he did actually, he made a partition of this interval into small rectangles. This even this line can be treated as one rectangle. Okay, I will make the partition of it. Make a partition of that region such that each strip will be looks like a rectangle. अशा प्रकारे पार्टिशन करायचं की प्रत्येक स्ट्रीप रेक्टँगल सारखी दिसेल. म्हणजे आता इथं तिरपं दिसतंय थोडं, तर यू शुड मेक अ पार्टिशन सच दॅट if this is larger line, you can have small straight line here. So small rectangle you can form there like that. And you know how to find area of rectangle, the length multiplied by breadth. So each area is calculated. Okay, I call it as each area, the summation of area. And this to get straight line, you may have infinite sum or some n, and you can take this n tends to infinity limit concept. And whatever total area comes, that will be referred as the Riemann integration of that, and it will be your जे काय answer येणार आहे ते answer आणि Riemann integration हे answer same राहतात. So in the first unit, whatever functions you have considered, that are always continuous. Thing is that why I am discussing this, because as per the unit 3 is concerned, you must know the proper integration and improper integration. So function is continuous on the given interval, whatever interval you are given. F is a real valued function which is continuous. If a function is continuous and this interval is always closed interval, you can take open interval, but interval should be bounded. The function continuous on closed interval means function is bounded. Once function is bounded, you can integrate it. You can find the area of bounded region. You cannot find the area for unbounded region. In the space you need to calculate the area, we cannot calculate. Some bounds are there. जो मोजता येणार असेल तर मोजू शकतो आपण, अनबाउंडेड असेल तर आपण त्या ठिकाणी मोजू शकत नाही. So thing is that your function should be bounded, interval is also bounded. Then and then we can integrate. Throughout this unit, the continuous functions are discussed. Later on, there are some functions. Which may be continuous at finite, which may be discontinuous at finite number of points. Still, we can integrate it. That's also that method is also going to discuss in the unit 1. You can have infinite number of discontinuity in the interval till that function is also integrable by integration, Riemann integration method. The all part have been discussed. So only thing is, in the first unit you should keep in mind that whatever interval you are taking close, whatever function you are taking, it should be always continuous and it should be always bounded. Then integration can be done. Now later on, it comes in the picture that about improper integral. What about the other integrals? For bounded continuous function, we can integrate. What happens with this improper means the functions which are not of that type. So this comes into unit second part. The both units will take by Mr. Kukhe sir. Now function from I to R, this I is closed interval, function is bounded, then it will be proper. Okay, I will say the integral is said to be proper when I have tried two conditions. So definite integral you should have, means with the limits. Okay, this definite integral is said to be proper first, and then we'll discuss improper. What we'll discuss in the first unit, that should be the proper integral. So first, the interval of integration, that is a comma b. The interval of integration is always finite. Finite means it is bounded. You are not going to take interval of this type, -1 infinite like this. So you should take interval whose length can be computed. And secondly, whatever functions you have taken, integrand, that's integration you integrate म्हणतो. This function f is called integrand. It is also bounded. So what do you mean by bounded? Function bounded means what? It has a maximum and minimum value. The function lies always between two numbers. You can have such a number, and for every on your interval I. So now here interval I is a comma b. It cannot exceed that m, and it cannot goes after this m. So if every value for every x, if every value between m and m, then you can say function is bounded. Otherwise, you can find the larger either mod m or this. Those where is larger, that can be taken as k here. And if you have like this function less than 3, then easily we can say that f is less than or equal to 3, like this, because the absolute value as 3 is the greater one that you should take. So minus 3 to plus 3, that can become here. So definite integral of this type, will always refer to be proper integral. I'm talking about proper integral. But if it is not of this type, then it will called as improper, and that has been discussed in the unit second. And we require little bit knowledge of improper integral to have to go for beta gamma functions. So there are three types of improper integral. Now we have to consider not these two cases are not holding. So improper integral of first kind. Who is improper integral of first kind? You have infinite interval. So what are, now which is the integral which is not proper, means these two conditions should not be there. The interval is not finite and integrand is also not bounded. Likewise, we have to make all three cases. So your integration interval is not finite, but integrand is bounded. So this is of first kind. There is second kind. This is finite interval. But integrand is unbounded. So integrand is unbounded. And the last kind, that is called as third kind. All three kinds were discussed in this unit. How to evaluate those integrals, that has been discussed. So what is third kind? आता याच्यात केस काय राहिली पहा, दोघांपैकी एक गोष्ट त्या ठिकाणी होतं का म्हणे. What will be the third case then? Both unbounded. Interval is unbounded and function is also unbounded. इथं दोघांपैकी एक फायनाइट आहे, आणि तिसऱ्या केसमध्ये दोघे unbounded. So I am going to write some example on it that can be solved, who is of first kind. Now integration 1 to infinity dx upon root x. Integration minus infinity to 0 e to the power 2x dx. Next integration I am going to write 0 to 1, 1 upon x dx. 1 to 2 dx upon 2 minus x. And the last 0 to infinity e to the power minus x root x. Now we have to categorize this into which kind of these integrations are there. Now for I am explaining one by one example here. This is 1 upon root x is your function. And what is the interval? 1 to infinity. So interval is infinite. So where is the case of interval infinite? So here is the interval infinite and here is the interval infinite. So it is not of second kind, it may be of first kind or third kind. So on this interval, whether your function is bounded or unbounded, just unmute and talk with me. On this interval, whether 1 upon root x on 1 to infinity. When you take value 1, you get 1, and when you take value infinity, you get 0. That means 1 upon root x is always lies between 0 to 1.
Bounded.
It is bounded.
Bounded.
So it is of first kind then, because integrand is bounded. So it is of first kind, and there are methods explained in this unit how to solve for the first kind, how to solve for second kind, and how to solve for third kind. So this is of first kind. Likewise, now for this function e to the power 2x, the interval is infinite. That means it is either of first or third kind. It is either of first. In the first kind, interval is infinite. In the third kind, interval is infinite. Now it depends on whether your function is bounded or unbounded. If it is bounded, then it is of first kind. If it is unbounded, then it is of third kind. Now you can find bound for this, because e to the power minus infinity, you know value of e to the power minus infinity. When you put minus infinity here, you just think for these two numbers. So e to the power minus infinity becomes 0, because 1 upon e to the power infinity it is, and exponentials are infinite, power is infinite, and 1 by infinity is always 0. So we get a lower number as 0, and when you take this 0, it becomes 1. So this is decreasing function e to the power 2x. Decreasing or increasing, that will check by two values. So it is bounded by these two numbers. This function is bounded by these two numbers. So that means this is also of integration of first kind. Now look at for this example. function is this and interval is this. Now interval is finite.
First time, sir.
Interval is finite here. Finite interval कुठं आहे? एकच ठिकाण आहे. इंटरवल इज फायनाईट आणि हा प्रॉपरने आपल्याला असं सांगावं लागेल. सेकंड व्हेरी गुड. हा प्रॉपरने कसं सांगावं लागेल? कारण फंक्शनची किंमत पाहायला गेलो आपण 1ला 1 येते पण 0ला काय होते? 1/0 इट बिकम्स इन्फिनिटी. So it has no finite value. Function is discontinuous. Functions get whatever functions you are written, function gets either n points or in between any one points, the function becomes infinite. That means it is unbounded. So interval is infinite, function is unbounded. So it is of second kind. And if function is bounded, then it is proper integral. If your function was bounded, then it should be proper. You are thinking about improper integral. Next example, think about this. It is 1/2 minus x and interval is 1, 2. Now interval is finite means we have to think about whether it is second kind or proper. But when you take x equal to 1, okay, it is 1/1. But when you take x equal to 2, it becomes 1/0, infinite. You may have the point like this 1, 3. The 2 is point inside there. 2 is there. At 2, function becomes infinite. Not either end points. You have interval 1, 2. You may have some point here also. That for that function is discontinuous. Function is discontinuous means function has infinite value. So it is again of second kind. So these two are of second kind. And definitely now think of this last. It will be of third kind, but that we have to discuss. This is your interval. So it is infinite. Interval is infinite. So where are the cases of infinite interval? It is either first kind or third kind. So what is the function? E to the power minus x upon root x. When you take infinity, you will get 1 by infinity becomes 0. E to the power minus infinity also becomes 0. Okay, at infinity function value exists. But what happens with x equal to 0? When you take x equal to 0, it becomes 1 by 0 like term that infinite. So function is unbounded. Function is unbounded and interval is also unbounded. So it is of third kind. So it is of third kind. And now these three kinds and how one can integrate by using these three kinds have been discussed in unit this. And now beta and gamma are the special names for improper integral. Why I am writing the beta functions definition and gamma function definition, then you are coming to know that which kinds of that integration is there. Okay, I'll write two integrals, 0 to 1, x to the power m minus 1 and 1 minus x to the power n minus 1. And next integration 0 to infinity x to the power n minus 1 e to the power minus x dx. Okay, we are mainly interested in these two types of integration in the last unit. So you can unmute yourself and which kind of, now this here interval is finite. Interval is finite. Definitely function has to be unbounded, otherwise it becomes improper integral. So it is of second kind. And function unbounded क्या होईल? तर आपण x ची किंमत 0 घेतली. If you take x equal to 0 and if this m minus 1 is less than 0, if this m minus 1 is less than 0, then it becomes 1/0. That means at 0 it becomes infinite. Now not 0 only, 1 is also point there. 1 minus 1 becomes 0 and if this n minus 1 is less than 0, that means n minus 1 less than 0 means this m less than 1, n less than 1. n minus 1 less than 0 येतं म्हणजे काय 0 चा negative power म्हणजे 1/0 लिहिल्यासारखं आहे and 1/0 infinity. So this is of second kind. It is improper integral of second kind and याला beta m comma n असं त्यांनी नाव दिलेलं आहे. This is your beta function actually. This is beta m comma n. So m, this value m is the power from x and this value n is power from 1 minus x. This type of integrals are called as beta function. And this type of integrals are gamma functions. It is denoted by gamma n. Okay, we have to discuss what type it is. So interval is infinite. Interval is infinite.
Third kind.
If n minus 1, it is of third kind if n minus 1 is less than 0. If this power is less than 0 means n is less than 1. Otherwise it is of first kind. Because infinite केव्हा येणार आहे ठिकाणी जर 0 चा पॉवर निगेटिव्ह आला म्हणजे 0 minus 2 power means 1/0 square, that is 1/0. So power should not be negative. That you should keep in mind. So depends on this you get it is of third kind, otherwise it will be of first kind. So this type of integral are called gamma functions. That has been widely used. It has in various application in engineering field also. It has been used as calculator for integration, and similarly these things also, there are some properties of these beta functions. That two things we'll be discussing in this unit. So today let us have just a definition of this beta function. So I concern mainly with this unit, beta and gamma functions. Both have wide applications in theory of statistics also. So beta functions I will introduce first. So it is defined for m positive as we have discussed earlier and n positive, then the integral 0 to 1, x power is m minus 1 and 1 minus x is power n minus 1 is called. आता ह्याच्यामध्ये काय होतं पहा, आपण ह्याचं जर इंटिग्रेशन करायला गेलो तर याच्या किमती x आपण इंटिग्रेशन विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू x करतोय, मग x चे लिमिट 0 ठेवले तर आपल्याला टर्म्स कशामध्ये दिसतील, m आणि n मध्ये दिसतील. म्हणजे हे फक्त इंटिग्रल m आणि n वरती डिपेंड आहे. इट इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ m कॉमा n. इंटिग्रेशन सॉल्व्ह केल्यानंतर फक्त m n आणि काही नंबर दिसतील, म्हणजे आपण याला फंक्शन ऑफ m कॉमा n म्हणू. तर f ऑफ m कॉमा n ना म्हणता काय म्हटलं, बीटा नोटेशन वापरलं, बीटा ऑफ m कॉमा n, बस एवढंच. विच इज ऑब्वियसली अ फंक्शन ऑफ m अँड n, which is function of m and n, which is function of m and n is called beta function. This is called beta function and it is denoted by beta of m comma n. Just write b, no need to write beta notation. I am not writing beta like this. In some books this notation is, I will write just write beta of m comma n, saying beta of m comma n, but it is actually b. So that is simply the beta m comma n. It's not beta, I am writing b, saying beta but writing b. That you should keep in mind. 0 to 1, x power is m minus 1 and 1 minus x power is n minus 1 dx, where you should have m positive, n positive. For this only this integration exists, that we are going to prove in the theorem how it exists. So m positive, n positive, this is the condition. So this is the definition of beta of m comma n. Let us write some. Okay, it has another name also, I forgot to tell you that. Beta function is also called as first Eulerian integral. Somebody says Euler, somebody says Euler, whatever pronunciation you like, you can use it. First Eulerian. Keep this mind. The beta functions is also called as first Eulerian or Eulerian integral. Okay. So let us have some example on it. You are not going to evaluate integral, we are just discussing. I am writing the integral and you should write it is beta of who. So integration from 0 to 1, things are important that your integration limit should be 0 to 1 always. Don't take other limit. Your integration limit should be 0 to 1. You must have x and 1 minus x power. There and then you can write. If x power is 3 and 1 minus x power is 5, then notation यहाँ काय असेल? Beta of, you can unmute and talk. This number is m minus 1 and this number is always n minus 1. कोणतं तरी एक लक्षात ठेवा. This हा number m minus 1 म्हणजे m ची किंमत काय आहे?
2.4 sir. 2.4 sir.
नाही
Beta
ना.
of 2.4.
आता m
Beta of
minus 1 3 तर m काय येईल? 4 येईल ना.
2.
With the
4.
आणि n minus 1 5 आहे तर n काय येईल? It is beta of 4,6. इकडनं एक पॉवर लेस नसतो, इकडे लिहिल्यापेक्षा एवढं लक्षात ठेवा फक्त. The 1 power is lesser here, 1 power is lesser here. If 4 is here, the 1 lesser power. 6 is here, 1 lesser power. एक गोष्ट लक्षात ठेवा, दोन्ही गोष्टी लक्षात ठेवलं तर या प्रकारे कन्फ्युजन तुमचं होऊ शकते या ठिकाणी. Okay. Second, now you can tell about, instead of x power I am writing root x and 1 minus x to the 3. So it is bit of you can write this as x to the power half. So half plus 1 and 3 plus 1. I am adding 1 power to here. I am adding 1 to this power. Whatever we did here
3 by
again.
2, 4.
Okay, very good. 3 by 2.
3 by 2, 4.
Okay, it is bit of 3 by 2 comma 4.
4.
Let us have another example. 0 to 1 x to the power minus 2 by 3, going to write here minus 2 by 3, and 1 minus x raised to minus half. Yeah, minus 1 should be positive like that. So just make this power plus 1. Minus 2 by 3
Minus 1 by
plus
2 to 1.
1 by minus 2 by 3 plus 1 कितनी आना रहे?
1 minus
1 by 3.
Okay, 1 by 3. It is bit of 1 by 3 and 1 by 2. So these two numbers should be positive always. You have to keep in track that these two numbers should be always positive as per the definition. But here powers are negative. M minus 1 should be positive. N minus 1 should be positive. Okay. We have another example. 4 x to the power minus 3 and 1 minus x to the power 5. Tell me about this.
minus 2.
Minus 26.
We are not going to write minus 2 and like this. This is not beta function actually. Is not beta function. So to all conditions is satisfied.
M
Is
and
not
N
beta
positive
function
पाहिजे ना sir.
since this value of m is m ची value किती आली? minus 3 plus 1 म्हणजे minus 2 आलं, which is less than 0.
Positive पाहिजे sir.
So that also you should keep in mind. So this is not beta function. Okay. Now for what values of this beta function is convergence have been discussed in the next result, and then we'll have properties about the beta functions. Okay, next topic. Now it is clear to everybody what is beta function, how to write beta function, beta of two numbers. Okay.
Yes sir, yes sir.
Convergence of beta function. This is first theorem of this unit. I'll write in question form. Show that the integration instead of beta m comma n x to the power m minus 1 and 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx. This is actually beta of m comma n. When it is beta of m comma n, if both m and n are positive. This exists. Definition मध्ये m आणि positive का लिहिलं तर ह्या result मुळे if and only if m and n are both positive. Okay, here we'll require little bit knowledge of improper integral, but I will revise while doing the proof of it. So this is if and only proof. If and only proof can be consider this exists, then we can show that m and n positive, but we are not going to prove like this. We just write first integral. This theorem has been verified first, and then beta function definition can be written. But we have written definition first and then this result. So we have to discuss for which cases this integral is improper or proper. आता हा इंटिग्रल प्रॉपर केव्हा असेल, म्हणजे हा इंटिग्रल प्रॉपर केव्हा असेल? This integral is proper when it becomes proper. If and only if. All right, just if. What do you mean by proper? I just told you.
Greater than 0.
Not m and n. This should be positive. this should be positive. What happens, see, function you should, I'm writing function x to the power n minus 1 and 1 minus x to the power n minus 1. This is your function. On what interval? 0, comma 1. So when this function value exists, okay, when you take 0, the 0's power has to be positive. So m minus n has to be greater than 0. And similarly, when you take x equal to 1, 1 minus 1, 0. So this 0 has to be positive. So this is proper if m minus 1 is positive and n minus 1 is positive. म्हणजे काय? Okay, हा 0 आला तरी काय अडचण नाही आपल्याला. If it comes 0, will not have worry. 0 आला तरी आपण काय 0च पॉवर आपण 1 लिहितो. पण x 0 आला तर 0 रेस टू 0 हा ॲक्च्युअली इनडिटर्मिनेट टर्म होत आहे. तरी ठीक आहे, आपण इथं greater than equal to 0 म्हणून greater than equal to 0 म्हणू. So this is greater than equal to 1 and n is greater than equal to 1. म्हणजे प्रॉपर इंटिग्रल आपल्याला सॉल्व करता येत नाही. ॲज पर द युनिट फर्स्ट, इफ इट इज प्रॉपर वी कॅन इंटिग्रेट इट अँड वी कॅन फाइंड द आन्सर. सो ह्या इंटिग्रेशनची व्हॅल्यू या व्हॅल्यूसाठी एक्झिस्ट आहे, पण आपल्याला कुणासाठी एक्झिस्ट दाखवायचे आहे? 0 पेक्षा मोठ्या. म्हणजे आता आपल्याला 1 to 0 मध्ये एक्झिस्ट दाखवायचं आहे. आता m ची किंमत लेस दॅन 1 आणि ग्रेटर दॅन 0, n ची किंमत लेस दॅन 1. कारण आपण इथं म्हटलंय काय, this is exist, this value exists if both m positive n positive. आता m आणि n ची किमती 1 घेतल्या किंवा 1 पेक्षा मोठे घेतले तर रिझल्ट ट्रू आहे, तिकडे जायची गरज नाही आपल्याला. आता काय करायचंय, m लेस दॅन 1 ग्रेटर दॅन 0 साठी प्रूव्ह करायचंय, 0 लेस दॅन n लेस दॅन 1 साठी प्रूव्ह करायचं. म्हणजे आपण काय होऊ, या स्टेटमेंट प्रमाणे ते प्रॉपर असल्यामुळे एक्झिस्ट आहे. ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1 ला साठी एक्झिस्ट आहे. फक्त जर तुमची m ची किंमत या रेंजमध्ये असेल, n ची किंमत या रेंजमध्ये असेल तर इंटिग्रेशन तुमचं एक्झिस्ट होतं एवढं प्रूव्ह करायचं. इंटिग्रेशनचा आन्सर काय आहे ते सांगायचं नाही, फक्त आपल्याला काय म्हणायचं, एक्झिस्ट होतंय असं प्रूव्ह करायचं. कारण आपण आता हे असं का लिहिलंय तर या फंक्शनमध्ये हे इंटिग्रल प्रॉपर का म्हटलेला, जर समजा तुमचं हे लेस दॅन 1 राहिलं असतं, लेस दॅन 1 राहिलं असतं, हा लेस दॅन 1 राहिला असता, तर या फंक्शनचं पॉईंट ऑफ इन्फायनाईट डिस्कंटिन्युटी, म्हणजे हे फंक्शन कोणत्या पॉईंटला इन्फायनाईट डिस्कंटिन्युटी होऊ शकतं, 0ला आणि 1ला होऊ शकतं. 0ला केव्हा, ज्यावेळेस हा लेस दॅन 0 असेल, आणि 1ला केव्हा, ज्यावेळेस हा लेस दॅन 0 असेल. म्हणजे दोघंही ज्यावेळेस लेस दॅन 0 असतील त्यावेळेस 2 पॉईंट्स असे आहेत 0 आणि 1 जिथे फंक्शन डिस्कंटिन्युटी व्हॅल्यू देते, म्हणजे पॉईंट ऑफ डिस्कंटिन्युटी आपण त्याला म्हणू शकतो. Okay, let me download the attendance. So for m greater than equal to 1, n greater than equal to 1, integral is okay. Exist. We have to think for m less than 1 and n less than 1, and then we will prove for it is for greater than 0, for greater than 0 but less than 1 it exists. So we have to make this. So for m less than 1 and n less than 1. So I am going to write integral for the same case 0 to 1 x to the power m minus 1 and 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx. आता हे इम्प्रॉपर इंटिग्रल आहे. इम्प्रॉपर इंटिग्रल ऑफ विच टाइप, इंटरवल इज फायनाइट बट फंक्शन इज अनबाउंडेड. कोणता काइंड हा, सेकंड काइंड. इंटरवल इज फायनाइट, सेकंड काइंड. ओके, इट इज ऑफ सेकंड काइंड. तर सेकंड काइंडचे मेथड झालेलं नाही कसे सॉल्व्ह करायचं, फक्त ती मेथड थोडक्यात त्या ठिकाणी एक्सप्लेन करतो. आता इथं काय करायचं, आता हे 2 पॉईंट्स आहेत, तर एका इंटरवलमध्ये एक पॉईंट कसा राहील तेवढं पाहायचं. म्हणजे एका इंटरवलमध्ये एकच पॉईंट, 2-2चा आपण एका वेळेस सॉल्व्ह करू शकत नाही. तर दिस कॅन बी ट्रीटेड ॲज 0 to हाफ. कोणताही पॉईंट घ्या मधला, तर हाफ यामधला एक पॉईंट आहे. 0 आणि 1 मधला कोणताही पॉईंट घ्या, मी हाफ घेतो. x to the power m minus 1 and 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx प्लस हाफ टू 1. नेक्स्ट शेवटी हे समेशन केलं तर आहेच आहे 1 minus x to the power n minus 1. Okay, x I should write first. Anyway, both are one and the same. So sum of these two is nothing but your integral I. Why this is taken? Actually, method says that whatever interval you are writing here, that interval must contain only one point of infinite discontinuity. आता या इंटरवल मध्ये समजा तुम्ही इथं घेतलं, इथं काय म्हणणार तुम्ही, आता इथं m ची किंमत इथे n ची किंमत काही असेल तरी काही अडचण नाही. आता इथे n ची किंमत काही असेल तरी अडचण नाही, पण इथे m ची किंमत ही किंमत आपण लेस दॅन 1 घेतोय, म्हणजे निगेटिव्ह पॉवर घेतोय. म्हणजे 0 इज द ओनली पॉईंट ऑफ इन्फायनाईट डिस्कंटिन्युटी फॉर दिस. लक्षात येते ना की आपण स्प्लिट केलं इंटरव्हलला, इंटिग्रेशनला स्प्लिट केलं. असं इंटिग्रेशन ॲडजस्ट करायचं की एका इंटरव्हलमध्ये एकच पॉईंट ऑफ इन्फायनाईट डिस्कंटिन्युटी येईल आणि मग कंडिशन ही m वरती येईल. फॉर m लेस दॅन 1 आय कॅन कॉल दिस ॲज इंटिग्रल I1 अँड आय कॉल दिस ॲज इंटिग्रल I2. I1 कोणत्या कंडिशनला एक्झिस्ट होतं, I2 कोणत्या कंडिशनला एक्झिस्ट होतं, त्या कंडिशन फाइंड करायच्या आणि त्याच्या कॉमन कंडिशन म्हणजे हा I एक्झिस्ट होईल. म्हणजे याची कंडिशन अँड याची कंडिशन असं आपण शेवटी म्हणणार. याची कंडिशन n वरती राहणार नाही आणि याची कंडिशन m वरती राहणार नाही, कारण हा काय इम्प्रॉपर 1ला आहे. इम्प्रॉपर 1 कोणामुळे होईल, तर या n - 1 मुळे. तर आपल्याला हे दोन इंटिग्रल या ठिकाणी सॉल्व्ह करायचे. सो आय एम टेकिंग I1 इज फ्रॉम 0 to half x to the power m minus 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx, and you are taking the case m less than 1. We are nothing to do with this n less than 1. Is the point of infinite discontinuity. So you are taking and checking the convergence at and checking convergence at x equal to 0, because when you write this function x to the power m minus 1 minus x n minus 1 on the interval 0 half x equal to 0, when this m is less than 1, x equal to 0 is the only point of infinite discontinuity. एकच पॉईंट आहे असंच आपण ॲडजस्ट केलं आहे. x equal to 0 is the only point of infinite discontinuity. तर आता याच्यामध्ये एक टेस्ट आहे. आता हे बाउंडेड, हे अनबाउंडेड कुणामुळे होतं पहा. हे फंक्शन f ऑफ एक्स अनबाउंडेड कुणामुळे होतं, याच्यामुळे होतं. त्याला g ऑफ एक्स घ्यायचा. हां, त्याला g ऑफ एक्स एक्स रेस टू m मायनस म्हणून तो फंक्शन तिथे g ऑफ एक्स घेतात नेहमी. कोणता तर x टू द पॉवर m मायनस 1, मी याला 1 अपॉन x टू द पॉवर 1 मायनस m असं लिहितो. आणि मग f ऑफ एक्स अपॉन g ऑफ एक्स जर फायनाईट येत असेल, त्याचं लिमिट पण तुम्हाला कसं घ्यायचं आहे, x टेंड टू 0 घ्यायचं, कारण आपण 0ला चेक करतोय. 0 प्लस म्हणजे 0कडे चाललेलं आहे, वरती 0च्या मागे जायची गरज नाही. ओके, ह्याचं लिमिट एक्झिस्ट असेल तर हा जर कॉन्व्हर्जन्स ज्या कंडिशनला आहे त्याच कंडिशनला हा f कॉन्व्हर्जन्स असतो. अशी कंपॅरिझन टेस्ट त्या ठिकाणी आहे. मी ती कंपॅरिझन टेस्ट अगोदर एक्सप्लेन करतो. समजा तुम्हाला f ऑफ एक्स कॉन्व्हर्जन्स चेक करायचं. कॉन्व्हर्जन्स म्हणजे काय, त्याचं व्हॅल्यू फायनाईट आहे इंटिग्रेशनची. काय व्हॅल्यू होतं आपण त्यामध्ये इंटरेस्ट नाही. हे इंटिग्रेशनचं आन्सर जर फायनाईट यायचं असेल तर त्या इंटिग्रेशनला आपण काय म्हणतो, कॉन्व्हर्जन्स म्हणतो. मग हा इंटिग्रेशन ऑन क्लोज इंटरव्हल AB वरती समजा एखाद्या फंक्शनला डिसकंटिन्युअस होत असेल आणि जर तुम्ही एका अनदर फंक्शन घेतलं, त्याला डिवाइड केलं आणि त्याचं लिमिट काढलं x टेंड्स टू 0 काय असेल तो जो पॉईंट असेल तो दॅट प्लस, आणि ते जर एक्झिस्ट आणि फायनाईट असेल तर हा ज्या पॉईंटला कॉन्व्हर्जन्स आहे, ज्या कंडिशनला कॉन्व्हर्जन्स आहे, सेम कंडिशनला हा कॉन्व्हर्जन्स असतो, अशी इथे तुलना केलेली आहे. तर आपण नेहमी g ऑफ एक्स काय घ्यायचं, ज्याच्यामुळे f ऑफ एक्स अनबाउंडेड होतो त्यानेच डिवाइड करून टाकायचं. ज्या फंक्शनमुळे f ऑफ एक्स अनबाउंडेड होतो त्यानेच डिवाइड करून टाकायचं. म्हणजे आपण f ऑफ एक्स आपला होता x टू द पॉवर m मायनस 1 इंटू 1 मायनस एक्स टू द पॉवर n मायनस 1, आणि त्याला डिवाइड करणार आपण g ऑफ एक्स एक्स टू द पॉवर m मायनस 1. हा झाला f ऑफ एक्स अपॉन g ऑफ एक्स. अँड यू आर गोइंग to check its convergence at x equal to 0 plus. So limit x tends to 0 plus. हे कॅन्सल होणार आहे आणि हे कॅन्सल झालं तर 0ची आपण 1चा पॉवर n मायनस 1 घेतो, हे 1 आलं. सो दिस लिमिट एक्झिस्ट. मग आता आपल्याला f ऑफ एक्सचं नेचर ठरवायचं आहे. मग g ऑफ एक्स काय ते पहा, 0 टू हाफ dx अपॉन x टू द पॉवर 1 मायनस m. आता आणखी एक गोष्ट सांगायची होती या ठिकाणी, a टू b dx upon x minus a to the power k is convergent if and only, first statement is that this is convergent if and only if k is less than 1. हे त्या ठिकाणी प्रूफ होईल जाईल तुमचं. हा जर k ची किंमत लेस दॅन 1 असेल तर ते कॉन्व्हर्जन्स असेल. मग आता ह्याच्याशी तुलना केली, तुमचं a ची किंमत या ठिकाणी 0 आहे. 0 टू हाफ dx अपॉन x मायनस 0 याचा पॉवर 1 मायनस m घ्यायचा. म्हणजे हा काय असायला पाहिजे तुमच्या कंडिशनमध्ये, इथं इफ अँड ओनली पाहिजे. हा 1 मायनस m तुमचा लेस दॅन 1 असायला पाहिजे, म्हणजे m इज ग्रेटर दॅन 0. एम इज ग्रेटर दॅन 0 आणि ग्रेटर दॅन 1ला तर ट्रूच आहे, म्हणजे एम ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला ते इंटिग्रल एक्झिस्ट आहे. पण हा जर तुमचा ग्रेटर दॅन 1 असेल हा नंबर, तर त्या ठिकाणी होत नाही ट्रू. म्हणजे एम लेस दॅन 0 असेल, ग्रेटर दॅन 1 म्हणजे काय, एम लेस दॅन 0 असेल तर ते कॉन्व्हर्जन्स नाही आहे. सो इंटिग्रेशन g of x dx is convergent only for m positive, that is f of x 0 to हाफ घेतलेला आपण I1 किंवा मी सरळ सरळ I1 म्हणतो. I1 is convergence by comparison. I1 is convergent by comparison test for m greater than 0. म्हणजे हा इंटिग्रल m ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला कॉन्व्हर्जन्स आहे. तसंच आता सिमिलर केस करायची आपल्याला की हा इंटिग्रल n ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला कॉन्व्हर्जन्स होतोय. म्हणजे दोन्ही इंटिग्रल m ग्रेटर दॅन 0 n ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला कॉन्व्हर्जन्स आहे. आणि ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1 म्हटलेलंच आपण, म्हणजे 0 to 1 मध्ये कॉन्व्हर्जन्स आहे. ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1ला ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1ला दोघंही m ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1 n ग्रेटर दॅन इक्वल टू 1 दोघंही काय आहेत, प्रॉपर आहेत. फक्त ग्रेटर दॅन 0ला पाहिलं आपण. तर हे आपण पुढच्या लेक्चरला पाहू, सेकंड I2 किंवा पुढच्या लेक्चरला पुन्हा फर्स्टपासून रिपीट करेल मी कॉन्व्हर्जन्स ऑफ दिस बीटा फंक्शन्स. या आठवड्यात नाही, पण पुढे मी सांगेल आपल्याला केव्हा एक्स्ट्रा क्लास घ्यायचे वगैरे. इफ यू